Our mission is to solve world hunger, and that's quite a bold statement, but how we do that is we make all the crops that you know and love salt-tolerant so they can grow floating on the surface of the ocean. I grew up in Yorkshire, quite rurally, and that definitely has an influence on my passion for agriculture, connection to environment. So the original idea for Alora came from Luke. We met at university, so we both studied at Durham University. He actually grew up quite close to where I did. He's from Yorkshire as well. He was flying over to Norway. Looking down from the plane, he just saw the ocean and how much potential was there. And it was really the seed of the idea that grew into ocean agriculture, how we can leverage that potential.
And it was this epiphany of just how much change we could create, how much food we could create. And in doing so, all these regions around the world that could struggle should no longer struggle anymore.
The story officially begins where Luke and I went to San Francisco in California. So that was back in September 2019, where we were lucky enough to be part of the Indie Bio Accelerator. Since then, there was the global pandemic. We moved north to Canada. We were there for about 4 years, where we were really hunkering down on our R&D, made some great progress on our technology. But at the end of that chapter, we wanted to look for a place where Alora could set down some roots, scale, and somewhere which would become our forever home. So we looked globally, comparing San Diego to Boston to Amsterdam and Norwich as well. When we had a look around the research park, John Innes, everything that's here, we knew within 24 hours that this was the place where Alora would thrive. What we do is genetic editing, so that's under precision breeding. Imagine the dimmer switch, but for genes. That targets how the energy within a plant is moved, used, and ultimately how that plant can deal with environmental stresses. And that's how we allow for our hypersalt tolerance, our heat tolerance, and increases in yield within our plants. Right now, we're working on rice, but we'll be expanding that out so that we can really work in any crop that you would have in your kitchen pantry. There is no single day that is the exact same. Really, it varies from working in the glass houses or our field trial, coordinating in lab, working with our partners, both in the research park and beyond. It takes a team to be able to develop something like this, and it's an appreciation for all the skills, all the hard work and that community that goes into making a dream like this a reality. We are running the first field trial growing rice here in the UK, which is very exciting. And with that, we have two main aims, where we're showcasing our ability to grow rice in the UK climate, but also to test two new varieties that Alora has developed, showcasing our increase in yield up to around 53%. And it's really flipping the narrative on climate change. Rather than seeing it as impending doom for all of our agricultural systems, it's saying, this is something that's happening. How can we adapt to it so that we can thrive under those conditions? We don't need to continue with harmful agricultural practices. We don't need to ship our food all over the world. Whenever you talk to startups, one of the number one problems is funding. To date, we have had investment from Toyota Ventures and Grantham Foundation, along with a few other investors. And that is over $4 million US. And with that, we've been able to generate the world's most salt-tolerant rice variety, heat-tolerant rice that can increase yield of over 270%. Every now and then you take a step back and you realize that we've come such a long way. Well, the end goal is really the mission, where you no longer turn on the news and hear about a famine or a natural disaster that's meant that thousands of people are starving. To be able to grow any and all crops on the surface of the ocean, that's the dream we're all working towards.
We're able to ensure that fresh water is a right to every living person on the planet.
We want to be running our first ocean trial within 2026 to 2027. It's been hundreds of years since agriculture has had a revolution, and right now we believe that we're going to be that revolution.